I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I didn't ask why. I just left no words, no explanation, no last goodbye. She thought I'd stay, that I'd fight for her, demand answers, beg her to explain. She thought she had the power, but instead, I disappeared. And now, she's the one searching for me, desperate, regretful. But the man she's looking for doesn't exist anymore. The signs were there, the late nights at work, the guarded phone screens, the forced smiles that didn't reach her eyes. I noticed it all, but I ignored it. I wanted to believe in her. Until one night, I couldn't anymore. Her phone buzzed while she was in the shower. A message lit up the screen. I can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again? The words hit like a knife. My hands clenched. My chest tightened. But I didn't react. No shout, no accusations. I just sat there, staring at the proof that the woman I loved had already chosen someone else. In that moment, I made a decision. I wouldn't beg. I wouldn't fight for someone who had already thrown me away. So that night, while she slept, peacefully beside me thinking she had won, I packed my bags and walked away without a word. She had no idea she would spend the rest of her life searching for me. She had no idea. She slept soundly beside me, breathing softly, unaware that everything was about to change. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at her, memorizing the face of the woman I once thought would never hurt me. She had already betrayed me, and now I was about to do the one thing she never expected. I was leaving her first. No fights, no last words, just silence. I stood up, moved quietly, packing only what I needed. I didn't take the gifts she gave me. I didn't take the photos we had together because none of it meant anything anymore. I grabbed my keys, my bag slung over my shoulder. For a brief moment, I hesitated at the door, not because I doubted my decision, but because I knew this moment would haunt her forever. I exhaled slowly. Then, without a single word, I walked out. By the time she woke up, I was already gone. She woke up expecting everything to be normal. She probably stretched, checked her phone, scrolled through messages, maybe even a text from the man she betrayed me for. But then she noticed the empty space beside her. No warmth, no presence, just silence. She sat up, frowning, glancing around the room. Then she saw it, the closet half empty, the nightstand cleared out. My keys gone. That's when her heartbeat picked up. That's when the first flicker of panic set in. She grabbed her phone and dialed my number straight to voicemail. She tried again, and again. Nothing. Then came the texts. Where are you? Going. On. Why aren't you answering? Still nothing. And that's when she finally understood. I wasn't just mad. I wasn't just upset. I was gone. For the first time, she was the one being left behind. At first, she told herself it was temporary, that I just needed space, that would come back once I calmed down. But as hours turned into days, and days turned into weeks, her confidence shattered. The realization hit her like a slow-moving storm. I wasn't coming back. She called, I never answered. She texted, I never replied. Her messages changed from, confusion, can we talk? Please just let me explain, to frustration, this isn't fair. At least say something, and then to desperation, I made a mistake. Please just answer me. I don't know how to live with this. I miss you. I miss us. But every time she reached out, all she got was silence. She started searching mutual friends, social media, old places we used to go. Has he said anything about me? Please just tell me where he is. But no one could help her, because I had erased myself from her world. The more she searched, the more the truth sank, and she had lost me forever. Now she was the one drowning in regret. Now she was the one chasing a ghost. She never stopped searching. She told herself that if she could just see me, if she could just talk to me, maybe I'd give her another chance. And then one evening it happened. I was sitting at an upscale cafe, drinking my coffee, completely at peace. My life had changed. I was different, now, stronger, wiser, untouchable. And then I heard a sharp inhale. I looked up. There she was, standing at the entrance, frozen in place. Her eyes locked onto mine. She had changed, but not like I had. I had grown. She had broken. Her once confident posture was now uncertain. Her expression, once filled with pride, was now filled with regret. Slowly, hesitantly, she stepped closer. "It's you," she breathed, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't think I'd ever see you again." I didn't react. It's no surprise, no anger, no emotion, because I had already closed this chapter. She pulled out the chair across from me, gripping it tightly as if she was scared I'd disappear. "Again, can we talk?" she asked, her voice unsteady. "Please." I took a slow sip of my coffee, letting the silence stretch. Then, finally, I spoke. "Talk about what?" Her breath caught. She wasn't expecting that. She had prepared for anger, maybe even pain, but she wasn't prepared for indifference. And that was when she realized she had lost me for good. She sat down slowly, her hands gripping the table as if it was the only thing keeping her together. Once filled with confidence and certainty, now held only regret. "I've been looking for you," she admitted softly. I leaned back, studying her. "I know." Her brows furrowed. "You know?" I nodded, taking another slow sip of my coffee. Of course, I just didn't care. The words hit her like a slap. She blinked, her lips parting as if she wanted to argue, but she didn't, because we both knew the truth. This wasn't about me leaving. It was about the fact that I never looked back. "I made a mistake," she whispered, her voice cracking. I thought I needed more. I was so wrong. I tilted my head slightly. "So why are you here?" "Because you regret what you did, Dor? Because the life you left me for didn't turn out the way you expected?" Her breath hitched. She didn't answer. And that silence told me everything. I chuckled, shaking my head. "That's what I thought." She reached for my hand instinctively, as if she could somehow hold on to me one last time. "Please," she pleaded. "Just give me a chance. I can fix this." I looked at her hand, then back at her face. There's nothing left to fix. Tears welled up in her eyes. "So that's it," she whispered. "You're really done with me?" I stood up, adjusting my jacket, my gaze never leaving hers. I was done the moment. I walked away. She watched me, her face crumpling, realization hitting her like a weight she could never lift. She had lost Mian this time. There was no coming back. She sat there frozen, her fingers trembling against the edge of the table, her breath shaky, her entire world collapsing right in front of her. She had spent months convincing herself that if she could just find me, if she could just say the right words, I'd come back. But now she finally understood. There was nothing she could say, nothing she could do. She had thrown me away, like I was nothing. And now she had to live with the fact that I would never be hers again. "I don't know how to live with this," she whispered, her voice breaking, exhaled slowly, looking at the woman who once meant everything to me. Then, calmly, but with finality, I said, "Then maybe you shouldn't have let me go." Her body tensed, as if the weight of those words physically hurt her, but it was too late. I turned and walked toward the exit, not bothering to look back. She could chase me in her mind, relive every mistake, regret every moment. But she would never have me again. She had her moment of power, now this was mine. She stayed in that chair long after I was gone. The world around her kept moving, people laughing, drinking, living their lives. But she was trapped in the moment. She lost me. Trapped in a past she could never return to. And as she stared at the empty seat I left behind, a single tear slipped down her cheek, not because she missed me, but because she missed the version of herself she was when she had me. And now she would have to live with the fact that she would never have that again. Meanwhile, I stepped out into the cool evening air, feeling lighter than I had in years. I had wasted no words, no anger, no energy. I had simply moved on. And that was the kind of revenge no apology could ever erase. Final message to the audience. Some people don't regret losing you, they regret losing the life they had with you. And once you realize that, you'll never look back. The end.